Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about 11th Hour. So this was a British television show that starred that of Patrick Stewart and Ashley Jensen. And so as I'm like flipping around on BritBox and everything, I found this show. I'm all like, Patrick Stewart in a different television show that's not Star Trek or like X-Men. I'm like, oh, I gotta watch this because it's like, I'm a huge like Patrick Stewart fan. He's a really good actor. And when he played Jean-Luc Picard, he was my all-time favorite captain on my all-time favorite Star Trek television series. And I've seen other projects of his, but not many. I've seen his Moby Dick movie. I've seen him in X-Men. Let's see. I've also heard him voice act, and like I've seen him in some, I don't know, it was a television movie that came out here in America on UPN back in the day, where he played like a former like spy or something like that, but he was having like Alzheimer's, and so the lady who was his maid was pretending to like be his maid, but was really like a foreign agent and everything. That's how it was over here. Like I remember I watched it and I was like all happy and excited, but I did not like that movie because I was just kind of like, okay, he's just some older guy with Alzheimer's, and I guess he's faking it. I don't know. So I'm always up for the chance to see him in something different, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, cool, I never knew he had his own television show back in the day. And it came out in 2006. I'm all like, man, that was like a long time ago and everything. And so, but it only lasted one season. I'm like, oh man. So it didn't pan out that well. And it only had 4 episodes and stuff. And I'm just kind of like, that's not a lot. Not even for like a British show. So I'm all like, how bad could it be? This show was a huge missed opportunity. Like, the premise was cool, right? The first 2 episodes were really good. The third one, I still to this day don't know what the heck happened in the third episode. And then as for the fourth is okay, but it could have been a little bit better. The show was kind of strange a little bit. At first, I thought it was going to be kind of like this grounded CIS type show that deals with like medical drama and science and stuff and, things like that. But then it started to add kind of like a sci-fi-ish type like element into the show where it kind of tried to be like the X-Files and everything. Not only that, but like there's no character development really with the two main cast members. I mean, I honestly don't know nothing about them. And quite honestly, I didn't even know their names until I looked it up online for this video and everything. The writing was slightly rushed. Like it's weird. Like when you come to like the actual cinematography of like the show was trying to be kind of like this edgy thriller, almost like spy type show, Like there was this one time where they had to hurry and get to a guy, but the way the car was speeding around with the camera movement and the shaky cam, because shaky cam was big around the early 2000s. I'm just like, is this a spy show or like what? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm like, it's not even a car pursuit. It's just they're driving and they're trying to hurry and get to this guy. But it's like the way they're driving, the camera shaking, you think it would be like a car chase, but it's not. And then one time he was trying to like read something on the computer screen, but then for whatever reason, the words turned to kind of like gibberish and kind of like this weird like symbol language and everything. But the camera kept like bouncing around and moving really fast and edgy, like somebody's reading it like really fast, like they're in a hurry. But it's nothing like that. And I'm just kind of like, I don't understand what the heck is going on. And then there's the character that Patrick Stewart played himself. He played a professor, Professor Ian Hood. Now, Patrick Stewart and Ashley did a phenomenal job acting. However, they made his character way too freaking smart. He reminded me of Commander Data. Like, he knew everything. And I mean everything. He didn't struggle at all. And I'm just kind of like, he's too perfect in this role. They wrote his character too perfect. Not only that, but like I said before, I've seen Patrick act in tons of stuff. He's great with dialogue. He has so much range and and just like so much like presence when he's like acting. But here they just constantly kept having him talk and talk and talk. And like I'm just like, what the heck is he talking about? Because I don't know what none of this smart stuff is. And it's just like he would just have all these lines of dialogue with no break in between. I'm all like, who the heck wrote this crap? Like, give the man time to breathe. But like this show just really, really, really wanted to be on the edge, and they kind of should have like slowed it down a little bit. Not only that, but like his partner, I don't know. It's like I don't understand what was the purpose of her character. Like, what the heck exactly was her talent? You know what I'm saying? She wasn't as smart as him, and it seemed like she didn't know like nothing. But she felt more like a chauffeur. And everything. She was constantly driving him around. And because he was up there in age, he couldn't like do none of the chase sequences on foot and tackle the people. So she kind of did all that. So that gave her character something to do, but she felt more like a bodyguard than anything else. And it's just kind of like, it was almost like Sherlock Holmes and Watson, but it's almost like they didn't really know each other. It was just like, she was new on the job. Like, that's how it felt, you know what I'm saying? And it felt kind of like they didn't even know each other because they kind of didn't. And I do remember in the first episode, she had some love interest, which they had a love scene. Stop showing naked guys' butts. Ugh. I'm tired of television doing that. And so I'm like, okay, where's this going to go between those two? And absolutely nowhere. And I'm just kind of like, okay, there's no character development. We don't know nothing about their backstory. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Now, but like I said before, this show had potential and everything. I wouldn't mind if it had more episodes and they could have fleshed things out a whole lot more better. Which there is technically a remake and everything. Now, with this show, Patrick Stewart, like I said before, played Professor Ian Hood. Now, originally, this show was supposed to be called Dark Matter. And originally, his name was supposed to be Alan Hood. And so, apparently, he's some type of special advisor to the government Joint Sciences Committee. I don't know what that means. And her character, Rachel Young, she works in a special branch. I don't know nothing about UK political stuff, so I don't even know what position that is. But like, yeah, the first two episodes, like in my opinion, are pretty like solid. Like the first episode dealt with that, some type of underground like I don't know, it was some kind of weird underground like adoption agency type thing where it's kind of like, okay, a mother will get pregnant, she doesn't want to keep the child, they will deliver the baby and take the baby and stuff. And but there was these shady type people, like they was up to no good. I don't know if they injected her womb with something to make the baby more enhanced or something like that. Because I do remember the startling like opening, like it's like Ian and Rachel, and they find like a bunch of dead bodies like out in the field, and their fetuses, like tons and tons of fetuses. I'm like, holy crap. And everything, like, this is a dark show. And so, but then I heard somebody say the word cloning. I'm like, hold up, So all those fetuses are the same person but cloned. I'm like, what the heck kind of show is this? But nevertheless, they had to rescue the lady. Then in the second episode, there was a viral outbreak. Somebody made like a super virus from a regular, normal, common virus and stuff. And like a bunch of people had to be quarantined. And Rachel thought she was infected because she had chased down this guy, but it turned out she had just some regular type of like nothing or whatever. But this one guy was infected, and they had like this gnarly kind of like, super virus look to his face as it's killing him. And all he wanted to do was get home to like his kid and give his kid like some type of robot or something like that. And that was kind of cool. Third episode, I still don't know. It's something about an old friend of his and something, I don't know. But then the last episode was about like these people who tainted water. It was some type of like radioactive stuff they put in like the water supply, and it affected people, but it affected people in a weird kind of way. I can't remember how. It did something to this young boy, like it gifted him with something, I can't remember what. So that was always kind of weird that the show would have this kind of weird sci-fi element, and they kind of didn't have to go that route. They still could have went the route of like all this shady underground medical stuff, and they're the ones having to like investigate it and help like cure it and stuff like that. Now, the show was episodic. Honestly, in my opinion, I think this show would have benefited if it would have went on a story arc type thing. Each season could have focused on just like one topic that the episodes had, you know what I'm saying? Have a central villain like the shows did and stuff like that. Now, what's interesting about the production is, now, Stephen Gallagher, or Stephen Gallagher, he is the one who created this show, but he left very, very early on because producer Simon Stephenson, pretty much they changed the script without his permission, and they added, you guessed it, a sci-fi element to it and everything, and he wasn't for that. So he just ended up leaving like production and stuff. Now, and it was cool to see both of them bounce back from like this show, Patrick Stewart, he's still doing like, Star Trek with the Picard series, but that didn't do too well. He's been appearing, in the X-Men movies, also doing other projects. Ashley Jensen, I didn't even know she was the actress from Catastrophe. In Catastrophe, she only had like a small recurring type role, you know what I'm saying? But she's gone on to do like other type of crime shows and everything. So, okay, you can watch this on BritBox, but you have to pay for that. Or you can watch it free in America on Tubi, Roku TV, stuff like that. Now, what's interesting I found out, there's an American remake and everything. And the American remake happened around the same time this show got like canceled and stuff. Warner Brothers is the one I think who made, no, yeah, Warner Brothers CBS people, they the ones who made it in 2008, and it ran to 2009. It was a Jerry Bruckheimer produced show, and like it starred Rufus, what's the name, Sewell, and like the original, it only lasted one season. However, there are way more episodes, about 20 something to be exact. And I've never watched it yet. It is on Tubi. I do plan on watching it one day. But I do know that when they got canceled, like a lot of fans campaigned to like get it back on the air. I've never heard of that one either until researching this. So sadly, you have two shows. I don't know if the remake has the same premise or not. But like I said before, this show did have potential. Like I think if they would have kept it more realistic, more grounded, take out that sci-fi element and everything, I think it could have been like really neat. Like, like this underground like baby like, birth like scandal type thing, a super virus probably gets out, people dumping their pollution into the water is making people sick. That could have been a heck of a lot more interesting, I think. But this show did kind of have like a little bit of that like X-Files, so weird, the Disney Channel show kind of vibe to it. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.